Society tells women, have a baby, but don't look like you had a baby. I am not sure that we as a society actually understand what a woman's body has to go through to actually create a brand new human from nothing. Now, I know I'm going to get some pushback with what I'm about to say, but hear me out before you rush to comment. It really bothers me, the notion that having a flat stomach, snapping back into shape, or having a tiny waist straight after giving birth is looked at as though it's an achievement, or something to be admired, or something to be celebrated. It's not. Having a flat stomach or a tiny waist after giving birth is not an achievement. And I, for one, am so sick of seeing celebrities and influencers standing in front of their camera, making sure they get all the angles just so you can see how tiny they are. And then if you look in their comment section, you see all the inevitable comments like, oh my god, did you really have a baby? Where did you keep your baby? You haven't just given birth. Now, it's not that I think these influencers or celebrities are deliberately trying to make other women feel like crap. I think that they are just as much a victim of this insane pressure to birth your baby and immediately just suck back into shape like you were never pregnant to begin with. Now, before the trolls get a hold of me, no, I'm not jealous. As far as postpartum bodies go, a lot of people tell me that I snapped back. Bear in mind, my fiance is a personal trainer. I am studying nutrition and I work from home. I had help from my wonderful man who helped me regain my strength and fitness levels after giving birth. So I am under no illusion that I was very, very privileged in that aspect. If I was a single mum to like 4 or 5 kids working a full-time job and trying to put food on the table, my reality would have looked very different, and hats off to you mums, because honestly, you are a special kind of hero. I'm gonna show you guys like a postpartum belly update actually. This is the belly. It's gone down like a lot because I was pretty huge there at the end, but I think breastfeeding's definitely helped with that. I'll show you guys from front on. It's like definitely squishy, like it's not flat and it's not toned at all. And I'm still wearing these huge these huge knickers because you can't have anything that rubs on the C-section, and that line is still there. But otherwise, like, I'm not in any rush to lose the belly at all. I'm just happy that I'm starting to feel like kind of like good and normal and can move around after the C-section. The belly can stay as long as it wants as far as I'm concerned. Another thing to note is that whilst my weight is back to my pre-pregnancy weight, my body looks very different. Before getting pregnant with my son, I had a very, very tiny waist, and my waist now looks very different. It's much more kind of straight up, straight down. And whereas before, if I sucked in, my belly went completely flat. Now, when I suck in, for all that I'm worth, I still have a kind of pooch under my belly button. And when I relax and I'm not sucking in, I still look the way I did when I was about 3 months pregnant. And I'm okay with that. I'm a woman. This is my body. This is the only body I'm ever gonna have, and I refuse to let anyone make me feel ashamed of it. So if you are one of those women that for whatever reason snap back into shape after giving birth, you're amazing. But if you're one of those women whose body has never looked the same after giving birth, you are also amazing. How your body snaps back or doesn't after birthing your children has some to do with your lifestyle, like how you're nourishing your body and how you're moving your body, 2 things that are very important just for your overall health. But a lot of it is also totally out of your hands. How your body looks after having children depends a lot on your genetics. So it depends on the length and shape of your torso. Now, me personally, I've got a super short torso. There's only like that much space between the bottom of my ribs and my hips, and I'm 5'4", so I'm kind of short. My son was over 9 pounds, so he didn't have a whole lot of room in my torso to grow, except to grow out the way. So by 9 months pregnant, I was lugging around a pretty big belly. So obviously my belly area is gonna have to do a heck of a lot more stretching and a heck of a lot more growing in order to house my baby. But then you've got people like Candace Swainpole, Victoria's Secret model, for example, who is super tall and she has a really long torso. So she had loads of room within which to grow her baby comfortably. Thus, she carried her baby totally different to me too, and her postpartum body would look totally different to mine as well. It also depends on the size and shape of your rib cage. If you have a wide rib cage, in turn your waist is going to appear wider, whereas if you have a narrow rib cage, your waist is also going to appear smaller. Please, as a new mum, don't punish yourself with hectic gym schedules and super strict diets trying to change the shape of your bones. You can't shrink your rib cage. It's also going to depend on how tall or how short you are. So for example, you could have one really tall woman and one really short woman, and they could have the exact same body fat percentage and weigh the same on the scales, but if you look at them, their body shapes are going to be completely different because we carry our weight differently depending on our genetics. Social media makes it look like most other new mums snap back into shape and they don't have that C-section pooch, and they don't have a postpartum belly, and they don't get stretch marks, and they don't have loose skin, but that is so far from the truth. Remember at the start of the video we were talking about the Victoria's Secret supermodel, Candace Swainpole? Well, look at these pictures of her after birthing her baby. Let's not forget that she is literally a supermodel with a hectic workout schedule, probably a strict diet, and she has the height and the long torso on her side, and yet she didn't simply birth her baby and then her body went straight back into her pre-pregnancy shape. She still has a belly. She has a bit of cellulite on her bum and thighs. And I look at these pictures and I'm like, what an absolute goddess. She brought life into this world. She is magic. Look at this picture that super successful singer Halsey posted on her Instagram, where you can see the flames rising from her belly. I know a lot of people call stretch marks tiger stripes, and I think that's cool too, but for some reason to me, they look like flames. You know, like the flames emoji, like, whoo! You hot. The absolute goddess that is Ashley Graham posted a similar picture to her Instagram where you can see her flames, her stretch marks going up her belly. She's not ashamed of her stretch marks, and if you have them, neither should you be. The gorgeous Sports Illustrated model Hunter McGrady posted this picture to her Instagram. If you zoom into this picture, you can see that she got stretch marks too, and again, she is a super successful, famous model. She is beautiful. Look at the beautiful American actress Aja Naomi King. She posted this image to her Instagram where you can see her linea negra, her belly isn't flat, and she says, after days of labor, after experiencing what felt like my insides being ripped apart, after experiencing the unimaginable beauty of childbirth, this is what's left behind. This gorgeous body. So in celebration of myself and my body for doing the damn thing, I wanted to share this photo. No makeup, no editing, no filters, just me. A woman in awe of her body and her baby. I love that so much. Then you've got the influencer and reality star Chelsea Huska, who has over 6 million followers on Instagram. She ain't got nothing to hide. She posted this image to her Instagram by choice. She ain't got a flat belly. She hasn't just gone back into shape after popping out her baby. She still has a belly, and it's so normal and it's so beautiful and there's nothing wrong with it. Then you've got the beautiful April Love Geary, who is the wife of Robin Thicke. She posted this image where you can clearly see her loose skin. And then more recently she posted this picture which she captioned hot mum bod summer. Then you've got the UK based influencer and reality star, the beautiful Georgia Kasulu, who has over 1.4 million Instagram followers. She posted this picture to her Instagram 8 weeks after having her baby, and as you can see, she didn't simply bounce back into shape either. She's still got a belly, her stretch marks are still visible, and like me, she had a C-section, so she now has a C-section scar to go along with it. 3 days ago, she posted this picture to her Instagram where you can see that she still has a bit of a belly and she still has her stretch marks. And is she ashamed? No! There is nothing wrong with having a baby and looking like you had a baby. Stretch marks aren't a flaw. Your post-baby body is just as beautiful as your pre-baby body. It's just different. That will take some getting used to because it's not the body that you're used to. But that is what happens when we go through 9 or even 10 months of pregnancy and then birth a child. Our body is not going to look the same, and why should it have to? Even queens like Beyonce no longer looks the same now as what she did pre-baby, and believe me, Beyonce would have the best chefs, the best nutritionists, the best personal trainers, nannies, all that jazz. If anyone was going to feel pressure to bounce back to looking like she did pre-baby, it would be Beyonce. She did an interview with American Vogue where she spoke about the pressure she felt after having her first baby compared to what she did after having her twins. She says, after the birth of my first child, I believed in the things society said to me about how my body should look. I put pressure on myself to lose all the baby weight in 3 months. But now, after the birth of her twins, she says, to this day, my arms, shoulders, breasts, and thighs are fuller. I have a little mummy pouch, and I'm in no rush to get rid of it. It's real. Even Instagram influencer Tammy Hembro, who is so fit, works out so much, and so many people have it in their heads that Tammy is like this superhuman that simply snapped back into shape after popping out her 2 children, but the reality is quite different. As you can see from these images and videos that she posted to her Instagram, even Tammy, who trains so much and is so strong and so fit, even with all that, she still has some loose skin. Now guys, on the completely opposite end of the spectrum, you have the mums who, for whatever reason, kind of did snap back into shape. Now you might think that if you were blessed or lucky enough to snap back into shape after having your baby, then you've won. No one can ever make you feel bad about your body. You can never be body shamed. But as we all know by now, society and body shamers will never be happy with women's bodies. They will always find something to criticize. And the mothers who snap back into shape are no exception. Look at the gorgeous Vogue Williams. She posted a video advertising her fake tan brand a few weeks after giving birth, and she was unfortunately inundated with other women criticizing her post-baby body. Now she actually hit back and she said, I didn't post that video to show off my body. I've always done tan tutorials. I don't feel the need to hide my body because, as I've read, it's unrealistic 6 weeks postpartum. I trained the whole way throughout my pregnancy, and I think that is a factor in how I look now. I'm also very tall, so there's a lot more room for a baby. What should a body look like after a baby? There isn't a set way it should look. I don't want anyone to feel bad about their bodies, and I certainly don't want to be made to feel bad about my own. What is unrealistic for one woman might be totally realistic for another. There isn't one way to look after giving birth. And that is very true. So much of what you look like postpartum is totally out of your control. If you still look 6 months pregnant a year after having your baby, it doesn't mean that you're ugly. It doesn't mean that you're lazy. It doesn't mean that you're less desirable or less worthy because you look like you had children. In my humble opinion, snapping back into shape or having a tiny flat stomach a day after giving birth is not an achievement. It's not a goal. The only goal you should realistically set yourself after giving birth is to feel healthy, to feel nourished, to feel loved and safe, and to bond with your baby, to give yourself time to heal, because birth, no matter how you bring your baby into the world, is difficult. And let's be real here, whether we snap back into shape or not, we're all wearing adult nappies after giving birth. We're probably all going to end up with scars somewhere, whether you gave birth naturally and tore, or whether like me had a C-section. We're all going to end up leaking fluids, whether it be out our nether regions or our boobs, whether we breastfeed or not. Like, pregnancy and childbirth and postpartum is not glamorous. Now I know this is probably already a long video, guys, but I really want to hammer home the point that if your body dares to look like it had children after you had children, you're amazing. The main problem with this insane pressure on women to have kids, but don't look like you had kids, and the celebrities and influencers that perpetuate this, is that it's leading loads of women to lust after having yummy mummy surgery. This is where mums will have a tummy tuck and a boob job, and possibly even a BBL, which is where they get fat sucked from less desirable areas of the body and injected into their bums in a bid to regain their pre-baby bodies. Now, I personally wouldn't encourage this because surgery of any kind is always going to carry risks. Surgery is not something to enter into lightly, and the fact that society and social media and these influential women are putting extra undue pressure on mothers to make them think that they need to look like they did pre-baby, in resorting to go so far as to have extensive surgery on their beautiful bodies, I just think it's really, really disappointing. And let's also not forget that a lot of these influencers and celebrities have what's known as a C-tuck, which is where these mothers have a scheduled C-section, nothing wrong with that, but whilst they are already being operated on for their C-section, they will at the same time have a tummy tuck, which is where the surgeon will remove all the excess loose skin, then hand you your baby, sew you back up, and it's like nothing ever happened. So if you see a celebrity or influencer who you think looks impossibly perfect after having their babies, just bear in mind that that could be a possibility. Now, I am actually in the process of creating a course all about how to be self-confident in a social media world, and in the course we have an entire module on how to be self-confident in your post-baby body, so stay tuned for that. I don't have an exact launch date yet, but that'll be coming soon. I'm hoping that the course is going to help any of you guys who are struggling with your self-confidence after having a baby, and in the course I can go way more in depth and talk about things that I'm not allowed to talk about here on YouTube. But in the meantime, I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If you did enjoy this video, please share it with other moms who you think might benefit from it, and please give it a thumbs up and comment down below. Number one, I love hearing from you guys and chatting with you, but number two, the algorithm really likes that, and if the algorithm likes the video, then it will push the video out to more mums who need to see this kind of content. So I'll leave this video here, guys. I hope this video helped you. I love you so much. I love your guts, and I'll see you in my next video.